The first word is Stygian, Stygian, Stygian. Shielding the flickering candle from any threatening draught, Ranjan and Ketan descended into the Stygian darkness of the underground covers. So, Stygian darkness is something which is very unpleasantly dark, which is gloomy, which is hellish, which is deathly, which is infernal. And the antonym of Stygian would be jubilant, excited, ecstatic, enthusiastic. Let's come to the next word, subterfuge. SUBTERFUGE. Tried to win over the rebels in a straight and honest confirmation, not by subterfuge. It was clear that they must have obtained the information by subterfuge. A trick or a dishonest way of achieving something, that is a subterfuge. A pretense, an evasion, an artifice, ARTIFICE. So a subterfuge is a kind of a ploy, it is a kind of a deceit. The opposite of subterfuge would be something which is honest, something straightforward, something upright, something undeceiving. Let's come to the next word, tenuous. TENUOUS, tenuous. The allegiance of our allies is held by rather tenuous ties. Let us hope they will remain loyal. We were only able to make a tenuous connection between the two robberies. Their lines of friendship are rather tenuous. It might break at any time. So tenuous means delicate, thin, slim, weak. The antonym of tenuous would be substantial, significant. Let's look at the next word, topper. TOPOR, topper. Throughout the winter, nothing aroused the bear from his topper. He would not emerge from hibernation until the spring. Topper is a lethargy, lack of activity, sluggishness, dormancy, hibernation, aestivation, dullness, sluggishness, idleness, laziness, indolence. The opposite would be vigor, strength. The next word is transpire. TRANSPIRE. Later transpired that the minister had been ill with an incurable disease. So transpire means to reveal, to show, to expose, to discover, to divulge. So the next word is travesty. TRAVESTY, travesty. The ridiculous decision the jury has arrived at is a travesty of justice. Their production of Macbeth was quite the worst I have ever seen. It was a travesty. Travesty, you see, in literature is a comical parody, you see. Treatment aimed at making something appear ridiculous. Something which is comically parodic, that is a travesty. It's a kind of making fun of justice. So the other words for travesty is a farce. FARC, a farce. A lampoon. The next word is unctuous. UNCTUOUS. If you are insincerely polite, insincerely well mannered, without sincerity, then you call that unctuousness. He disguised his nefarious actions by unctuous protestations of his humility. Unctuous, that is, by being, you see, speaking in a flattering, blandiloquent way, in an oily manner. The opposite of unctuous would be sincere, genuine, authentic, true, unpretentious, unpresuming, unassuming. The next word, unravel. UNRAVEL, unravel. So with equal ease, Bakshi unraveled tangled balls of yarn and baffling murder mysteries. You had better mend that hole before the whole sweater starts to unravel. So unraveling is disentangling, unrolling, unfurling. The synonym of unravel can be solve, decipher. The opposite would be perplex, confuse, complicate. The next word is uxorious. UXORIOUS. His friends laughed at him because he was so uxorious and submissive to his wife's desire. Uxorious means excessively devoted to one's own wife, being madly in love with one's wife. The next word, verdant. Verdant. Manish paintings of the verdant meadows were symphonies in green. Verdant means lush in vegetation, luxuriant, covered with healthy green plants or grants. Like you see after a rain over the mountains or the hills, the luxuriant growths of greenery that you would describe as verdure or verdant. Much of the region's verdant countryside has been destroyed in the hurricane. Let's look at the next word, which is vicarious. Vicarious, vicarious. Many people get a vicarious thrill at the movies by imagining they are the characters on screen. Vicarious is the experience as a result of watching, listening to, or reading about the activities of other people rather than by doing the activities yourself, acting as a substitute done by a deputy. So it is an indirect experience. You're not doing that work. You say they get a vicarious thrill from watching motor racing. That is, when you start watching motor racing, it appears as if you yourself are a participant in that. That kind of a feeling that you have, that is known as vicariousness. The next word is vindicate. Vindicate. The court vindicated him of all the charges. The lawyer's goal was to vindicate her client, to vindicate, exonerate, to acquit, to free from guilt or blame, to justify or support, to exculpate. So the opposite of vindicate would be to convict, to blame, to incriminate, to hold culpable. Let's come to the next word, vivacious. Vivacious. She had always been vivacious and sparkling. The bride was a vivacious blonde and was casting spell on the relatives with a sweet voice. Vivacious is lively or animated, sprightly, active. The opposite of vivacious, torpid, dull, inane, jejune, empty. Let's come to the next word, whet. Whet. What do you do when you whet? You increase, you enhance someone's interest in and desire for something. The other meaning of whet is to sharpen. He was whetting his knife. Whetting his knife means he was sharpening his knife. So the orders from the kitchen are whetting my appetite. The aroma coming from the kitchen are increasing my appetite. To stimulate, to arouse. Our school teachers lecture on grammar. Whetted my further interest in language. The antonym of whet would be to quell. Quell, quell. To suppress, to decrease, to reduce. The next word is writhe. Writhe. Writhe means to convulse. Convulse. To twist. To make last twisting movements with the body. To experience a very difficult or unpleasant situation or emotion such as extreme embarrassment. If somebody humiliates you, you writhe in agony, you writhe in humiliation. Snakes also writhe. The way snakes move around, that is known as writhing. In dances with snakes, the snake dance wriggled continuously as a boa constrictor writhed around her torso. The pain was so unbearable that he was writhing in agony. The next word is corporeal. Corporeal. All these words, corporeal, corporation, corpus, corpse, corpulent. The root word is corpus. Corpus refers to the body, to the material, to the physical, to the tangible. The government prohibited corporeal punishments for students. What do you mean by corporeal punishment? Physically beating. And the opposite would be spiritual, mental, cerebral. Let's come to the next word, covetous. Covetous. The covetous politician can hardly formulate a long-term policy of growth and development. Covetous would mean greedy, avaricious, demanding too much, desiring something too much. Particularly, you see, if that thing belongs to somebody else, you covet it. Western companies are casting covetous eyes on bargain priced companies of Eastern Europe. The next word is curtail. 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 The government should curtail its expenditure. The last government severely curtailed trade union rights. In order to save, you must curtail your expenditure. That is to cut down, to reduce, to limit, to restrain, to decrease. The antonym would be to extend, to make bigger, to expand, to increase. Let's come to the next word, that is decry. 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 The opposition party is always decrying the chief minister. She decried the appalling state of British film industry. So decry means to criticize something as bad, worthless, unnecessary. You express a strong disapproval of something. Decrying the chief minister, that is disparaging, denouncing, condemning, dispraising. The opposite of decry would be to praise, to support, to penjerize. Let's come to the next word, that is defunct. DEFUNCT, defunct. Something which is defunct is of no longer use or existence. The credit cooperative society which functions so well is now defunct. I think the kettle is defunct. So something which is dead, something which is extinct, something which doesn't exist anymore, that is defunct. And the opposite would be active, flourishing.